Hello YouTube, TFR here, and if you're joining me for the first time, welcome to the channel. If you're returning, this is the start of a brand new series called The Runner's Ultimate, in which I will be taking the ranked style of top 10 list a lot more seriously, where the number 10 spot and the number 1 spot will hold a lot more significance, in contrast to my previous video where I wanted to kind of eliminate that and I was more relaxed and carefree. And you know, those kind of videos I'll have a bit more fun with. These kind of videos, the Ultimate series, I am definitely taking a bit more seriously. So let's jump right into it. I hope you guys enjoy. Kicking in on the number 10 spot, you got Giorgio Armani's Aqua di Gio, the original King of Kings. One of the best selling fragrances of all time, and it's just absolutely refreshing. One of the most crisp, clean, timeless classics. And the reason why I'm picking this one over the Profumer version is just because of the refreshing factor to it. This guy is awesome. You can wear it all year long, in the fall, in the winter, anytime literally. But this one right here is going to be more refreshing. This starts out more sharp, more potent, and is a lot more simplified, having 5 notes compared to like 25 of the original. Not to say that, you know, this one is more interesting than this one. They're essentially the same scent DNA, but this one is just lighter, more crisp, and more refreshing due to it. So taking in the number 10 spot, you got the original Eau de Toilette Giorgio Armani's Aqua di Gio, because it is still a fantastic champion today, and especially with everybody wearing this one or the Absolute version, you'll have a little secret weapon in this one. Coming in next, you got Coach for Men, and this is taking in the number 9 spot, and I absolutely love it. It's a little higher in the list because I did put it at number 1 in another video, but I absolutely love this fragrance. The ambergris note in here is absolutely done perfect, playing off of the citruses, the pear, the juicy factors to this fragrance. But this has become a fragrance that I could just smell and it instantly relaxes me. It takes me to my comfort place. This is such a mass appealing, alluring scent. It's not the most interesting, the most dangerous, but it is crazy mass appealing. And sometimes you guys got to remember that the internet and your real world are 2 different things. So while this fragrance is maybe done to death on the internet, in the real world, there's just still plenty of time to introduce this to the masses. Like I said, we are the pioneers. If you are watching this video, keep in mind that within the next 5 years, there's still going to be people who have never smelled this fragrance. And yeah, all I can say is that it is awesome. It is simple and clean, refreshing, reinvigorating. It's awesome. So yeah, taking the number 9 spot, Coach for Men. A little similar to Jimmy Choo, but this is just perfected. Coach kind of perfects this DNA. The original Jimmy Choo is a little rougher, but I am going to use it to transition into my number 8 spot, which is going to be Jimmy Choo Man Blue. And this is honestly a darker fragrance, but it's taking the number 8 spot just because of timing, because right now you could get this fragrance for 30-40 bucks, and it is in, my honest consultation, I'll be like, I wouldn't feel right not recommending this fragrance to you because it is amazing for summer nights. And I myself picked it up for $30 off of eBay. I sometimes link, or I usually always link to Amazon in my descriptions. That's just a suggestion. I always encourage going out and hunting down these fragrances yourself through eBay, different sites, maybe on Facebook groups, because yeah, you can find some amazing values. And this guy is awesome because it starts out with that similar blue, cool sweetness, similar to other fragrances, but it dries down to this really nice, alluring vanilla sandalwood combination that's not too strong. It's already garnered me a few compliments this year. And yeah, for the price, for the scent DNA, it is an amazing summer night scent that you could run and be confident that it will get you compliments, it will get you love, and it's just a fantastic scent overall. Jimmy Choo Man Blue. You might not love it at first, but it will win people over. And now, taking in the number 7 spot, you got a new one to the game, Mont Blanc's Explorer. And this fragrance, what can be said besides $80 Creed Aventus? And some of you already know that the Creed Aventus DNA is, the modern day King of Kings, the top of the game right now. This is going to be the staple designer equivalent. Over the next 5 years, this fragrance is going to blow up because it took the niche Creed, the most famous niche DNA, and just transitioned it into the designer world. It streamlined it, and now it's here. So this is the designer world's Creed Aventus, guys, for $80. You can spend $400, $300 chasing it around, different batches, stressing yourself out, but I promise you the masses don't take it that seriously. You could be confident that most of the work has been done for you through this bottle, and if I haven't convinced you yet, keep in mind that Mont Blanc fragrances do go down in price eventually, so maybe you can find it at $60, $40, and once again, this is one that I will not feel right not recommending it to you this summer, just because it's like, yeah, you're gonna introduce this to the masses, the crowd around you first. You're gonna be ahead of the game. So taking in the number 7 spot, Mont Blanc's Explorer, absolutely fantastic. Taking in the number 6 spot, you got Lacoste Blanc. And this is the most reliable, soapy, fresh, clean fragrance that you just feel like you're lathered up in soap the entire day. The ylang ylang note is in here that gives it that little pop, that cleanliness, and it's just great. It has awesome performance on it too for one of those soapy freshies. I get about 5 to 6 hours out of it, but for this summer you're gonna smell great. The Lacoste line has all sorts of these juicy fragrances that, you know, it's a ton of them, man. You got the white one, the green one, the red one, they're all here. But out of all of them, the original white one, the original white is still the best. No fragrances were harmed during the making of this video, by the way. The original white is still the best, and it's just gonna sit so nice to you. It gets a lot of compliments because girls really like the fresh and clean factor. When you smell like you're coming fresh out the shower and you carry that with you all day, because psychologically it just sends the message that you take care of yourself, and this is one of the most reliable fragrances for that. So taking the number 6 spot proudly, you got Lacoste Blanc, Lacoste White, Lacoste 1212 Blanc, however they want to call it nowadays. It's taking the spot. And coming in at the number 5 spot, Eternity Now. And I talk about this fragrance a lot before. This is easily one of my favorite Calvin Kleins just because it is so different from your traditional Eternity line. The original one, Eternity Blue, that smells really close to Eternity mixed with Polo Blue. This one is completely different, even changes up the sprayer. This is a coconut based scent. So you already know summer, coconut, love. It's got the carambola fruit in there to complement it. A little bit of star anise to give it that spice. But it is an amazing fragrance, great performance. I get about 7, 8 hours out of it. And it just lingers in the air with different stages where you get a nice crystallizing, tingling sweetness in the beginning, and then just the depth of it, the body protruding off of you, is gonna pull women close because women really like this fragrance because it almost smells like a women's fragrance. It's completely a man's fragrance. You guys see it right here. I talked about it before. This is Eternity Now for men, but we completely pass off as a women's fragrance, and the psychological factor behind this is kind of like with Ultramar and those other things, that when women smell something that they would want to wear, they're just more drawn and attracted to you because they're like, oh my god, what is that? I would wear that myself. I love it, you know, and they'll give you some fantastic compliments. So yeah, number 5 spot, proudly so, Eternity Now. Coming in at the number 4 spot, you got Bvlgari Aquamarine, and out of the entire Aqua line, this is the one that I believe just emphasizes ocean freshness the best because it is just straightforward with it. You get the marine notes in there that are a lot lighter than the original Aqua. This is not as tangy or as citrusy as the Aqua Amara, although Aqua Amara is an amazing choice as well. Aquamarine is just more accessible because this is being discontinued, and this does open up so tangerine-y, so citrusy that some people are put off by it. This guy is a lot more mass appealing, and they both have great performances. It isn't really a competition, but this is taking the spot just because it is more accessible, and I believe the scent DNA is more mass appealing, and it does fit summer a lot better. The simple summer freshness, the aquatic freshness, versus just straight citrusy and explosion of this mandarin citrus sweetness over the summer freshness. This is more specialized. This is more just straight summer in the face, beach friendly, party all for days. You'll have some awesome times with this one. Bvlgari Aquamarine. Alright. Taking the number 3 spot, you got one of my personal favorites, Versace Dylan Blue. And I am always going to love this fragrance. I love putting it over highly. I talk about it a lot. It's been in so many of my lists. And this is a fragrance that's been you know, in the signature scent department for me since I've had it, and I am probably going to retire it off of these lists soon just because I talked about it so much. I've never actually ranked it at number 1, but throughout all my lists, I've given it so much love, and it's been a personal favorite of mine, so I just, you know, I don't want to be too biased, but I am putting it in the number 3 spot because it is still awesome to this day, just to knock it down versus everything else. Against Sauvage, this is just cooler. Sauvage has that streamlined bergamot pepper that's been done to death, and the ambroxan note that a couple of times when I hug people and such like that, they do get that synthetic quality to it. This is a lot more refined, a lot crisper, not so explosive, and the dry down is awesome. It opens up with the cool blue sweetness that it is gonna stick there and linger in the air. You may not smell it 4 hours from now, but other people will. Under the and that's over, you know, the fabric softener freshness, just all the notes blended together to give you this really, really awesome vibe. The aura of excellence when done right. Versace Denim Blue has gotten me some of the most enthusiastic compliments, and for summer 2019, you will be one of the coolest guys, hands down, to your personal world again. Once again, the internet and your real life reality are two different things, so ignore the fact that this fragrance has been done to death, talked about to death, and realize that you still can introduce it to the masses, the people in your circle, the people in your space, because there are millions and millions of people out there, and you are not engaging with all of them every single day, and not all of them know about every single fragrance. So guys, Versace Dylan Blue, and yeah, against Blue de Chanel real quick, it's a lot cheaper. That's kind of the advantage. If you could string out $120 for Blue de Chanel, go ahead. Otherwise, I recommend Versace Dylan Blue because it is fantastic. Coming in at the number 2 spot, a fragrance I never talked about before on the channel is going to be the original Invictus. And you could do Invictus Aqua, Legend Spirit, you know, anything close to it, but the original Invictus is still the Playboy scent that it's always been, and I am not going to pretend, we are not going to pretend that the performance on this isn't awesome, that the scent DNA isn't awesome, because it completely is. People have stopped talking about how this thing lasts like 8+ hours. People have stopped talking about how this thing was the original sweet scent that women nearly universally love. And I'm not going to hype it up too much like that because there are some women who, you know, prefer a more masculine scent. I'm not going to say every woman will love this, but this is still the Playboy scent it's always been. It's really hard just to say more. This is bubblegum sweetness in the opening over some aquatic notes. The bubblegum sweetness is actually a combination of a really sweet citrus playing off of some of the undertones. But yeah, it does come off as bubblegum, but it is masculine in the dry down, so I don't want to put people off by making it sound too sweet. But Invictus is still the party monster it's always been. For summer 2019, it will definitely get some hits. If you're wearing Invictus Aqua and the guy next to you is wearing Invictus, don't be surprised if he gets some compliments, because this is me telling you that this fragrance is still hitting today. Paco Rabanne's Invictus, guys, taking in the number 2 spot. Alright guys, so for the Ultimate Series, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for the number 1 spot. Since Fragcom loves to hype up the number 1 spot, YouTube in general loves to hype up the number 1 spot, I am going to hype up this fragrance like no one's business. And I'm pretty much just going to end the video after that, because what more is going to be left to be said? So yeah, the number 1 fragrance. It is going to be a fragrance that's like Dior Sauvage, but done better. Dior Sauvage has been one of the most mass appealing scent DNAs to come out in the market, and it's honed it. This one combines that scent DNA with the fragrance that it's a flanker of. It combines the two, so if you're a fan of the both, you're going to absolutely love it. And for those of you who are a fan of Sauvage, you could trust that this one is going to have a little bit more depth, a little bit more of an interesting twist to it, just because of the familiarities to its original fragrance. This fragrance right here lasts 8 hours plus, and it has been my most complimented scent this year so far. It is amazing. It will garner compliments like nobody's business, just from walking around, lingering in the air, or people getting close to you in the skin. This fragrance is the ultimate summer fragrance for 2019. The number 1 fragrance for the list is Prada Luna Rosa Carbon.